Good morning, classmates. I am here to talk about our technology and physical education class. We had a app that we were supposed to communicate with our group. I am here to talk about the Remind app, and I am here to talk about the pros and cons of all the app. So, first of all, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to glance over a few times. I've got my PowerPoint here on my phone. I'm not going to be able to show it up on the screen at all, but I will go over the pros and cons with you. So let me go ahead and pull that up real fast. So the Remind app is just a brief summary about it. It's your basic texting app. It's a lot like GroupMe. You've got your 4 or 5, however many people you want in the group. I just say 4 or 5 because that's how many we have. But we've got, it's just a basic texting app. You can go around sending videos, pictures, messages. There's a few good things about it, and there's also a few confusing things about it, and that's where I'll get into the pros and cons. So here's my first thing is the pros of the setup. So the setup of the app, it's like a lot of things, whether you're setting up an email account, setting up, like GroupMe, anything. So just a basic, overview of it. It's easy to put in information. You've got things such as, phone number, email, your name, age, country you live in. So real easy stuff. Nothing too difficult there. But there's a few, things just like a normal setup for anything that you have to put in. If you have an iPhone, it's real easy to connect with your iPhone. I have my iPhone in here connected to the device. So, and I actually did not know this when I first downloaded the app. I guess some teachers from high school had used the app, and I was connected with them because I go in there and look at the toggle. I can toggle down the menu, and it's got my the group that we created here in class, the technology and PE. But I've also got, it said Llano High School, which is where I'm from. That's where I graduated high school from, and it's got Llano High School in there. So I guess maybe a teacher added me. I don't know why. I've been out of high school now for 3 years, senior in college now. But so it was just kind of cool to go back and see that I guess some of my high school teachers are also using the app. So like I said, it's easy to connect to the iPhone. Reminders and alerts are easy to comprehend. So whenever you get an incoming text message, or excuse me, that's on the setup. So the setup is easy to set. So it's easy to go in there and set whether you need alerts or not. It'll ask you, do you want to allow notifications from this app? And it's real easy to go in there and allow. Sometimes some apps you might not want to have notifications on, like Twitter. I use Twitter, but I don't like to have my notifications on. So it's real easy to set up your notifications. It's a small little process, but it's easy to go by. So we'll now talk about the setup, the cons of the setup. So while you're still kind of setting up the app, it's pretty difficult to understand the app once you've actually signed up. I was kind of lost. A couple of my 3 other classmates that I'm in the group with, they seem to be a little bit lost too. It's just kind of hard to understand if you're fully set up. It's real hard. You have to email confirmation is sent to you, and you have to go in there, and it's real hard to when the email link comes in, it's real hard to set up the when you click on the link in your email, it's real hard to set up the what am I trying to say? It's just a hard app. It's just hard to comprehend when you're setting it up. Once you've already set up the app, and you're still trying to figure out, do I need to go in there and edit things? Do I need to go in there and how do I add other people to a group? It took us a few minutes to figure things out. So another thing during the setup, it's real hard to join a group message. I still don't know how. My group kind of helped me out with this when we first were adding each other's phone numbers and everything. At first I wasn't allowed to join the group message. Caitlin was the one that set up the our group message, and it was not allowing me in the group, and I had to go in there and I think delete my account and reset up, and I still don't know how I got in because I deleted the app, I deleted my account, logged back in, and I was able to join again. So I don't know how, but it was very confusing. We couldn't ever get me in the group, and we eventually got it to work, so I can't take credit for that. The group messaging is a little difficult to understand at first when you're still kind of setting things up and trying to join the group message. Once we eventually we're still setting up the app, and I joined the group message eventually, and we were sending text to each other just to kind of test it, and I never got an individual, and I'll talk about this later too in the process, but I never got an individual message, or excuse me, I never got a group message. I was only getting individual messages, and that was just in our setup process, just trying to get feel for the app, just kind of figure things out, and that was really hard to, comprehend. And like I said, my last bullet point here on the setup for cons is it's hard to make group messaging in one. We're talking in a group. You can sometimes tell we're in a group, but sometimes we also get individual messages. Excuse me. We sometimes get individual messages, and I quite don't understand that. Okay, we'll move on over to the pros of the process. You are able to communicate within a group setting, and you're also able to, have more than one group, so separate groups. So very nice app to have if you're trying to communicate with others. But like I said earlier in the cons, sometimes you get individual messages, sometimes you get group messages. My take from this is, after we will have used the app for a while, we probably will understand it a little bit better, but for right now it's just a little difficult to understand. You are able to receive photos and videos, which is nice. It's not just text messaging back and forth. So Sherry sent us the first time we first kind of started texting as a group. She sent in a picture of her at the football game. Her son was playing, Edgewood was playing Commerce, I remember. She sent a video in there, and that was kind of cool to check things out. So you also, a pro is you can get messages to group members. So it's very nice to be able to communicate with your classmates if you need to, or if you're not using it for school, you can use it for, in my case, I'm wanting to become a coach, so I can communicate with my athletes, and I don't have to sit there and text them. I can use this app and just communicate with them. GroupMe might be a little bit better app, but maybe this app, maybe once I get to use it, once I get to get used to it a little bit more, I will be able to. I think it's a good app. I think it's good because I think you can add a lot of people in there. You can share things that's maybe some text messages wouldn't go through, and GroupMe might not allow it because, GroupMe is a very good app, but it's kind of not everybody wants to sign up for GroupMe and get alerts all the time. Here, like I said earlier on the alerts, you can turn them off and just check it whenever you want to. So that's a good thing to have. And we'll move over to the cons of the process. This is the last step in the PowerPoint that I put together. I did have a presentation a visual that I can show in class if anybody's interested. But like I said, right now it's just me and the video, and I'm having to look over at my phone at the PowerPoint. But if you want to look at my visual in class, I did turn it in to Dr. Culpepper, and I'm sure that I can get that back and show you guys my little template that I printed out. The message here, this is the cons once again of the process. Messages were scattered from group to individual messages. I did touch on that a little bit earlier, but sometimes we'd be texting in our group. We'd be saying, "Hey, I'm at the football game. Hey, I'm at the volleyball game. Hey, I'm at my dorm." And sometimes it worked really well. We'd be getting it in a group setting, and it'd be nice, like a group message. And then sometimes I get a random message. I could comprehend of what was going on. It was a response to what someone else had said in the group, but sometimes I would get an individual message from someone, and everyone else appeared to have that problem too. You get an individual message, and it's kind of confusing, like, why am I not getting this in the group? So the individual messages were a little bit weird, a little bit hard to comprehend, because you're wondering why you're getting an individual message instead of it being in the group. Sometimes it's hard to tell the order of messages, so like I said, pretty good comprehension skills, so it was kind of hard sometimes when we get an individual message that was intended to be in the group, the order of it. So someone might say something in the group, and then someone would respond, but it would come in as an individual message after a few other group messages have gone through. So we're sitting here going, okay, I understand what he's responding. He's responding to an earlier message, but it didn't go through in the group, and a couple other messages have gone through the group and whatnot, and it was just kind of, the messages come at weird times sometimes when it comes in individually, which is I think we're all smart enough in the group to understand what the person was trying to say, but it was just weird at the timing that it came through. And just one more time to touch on, it is hard to tell if it was a group and individual message, because sometimes it would say, we'd be in the group message chatting, and then I'd get an individual message. I'll just use Sherry as an example. I'd get an individual message from Sherry, and I can't tell if that's directed towards me or the group. Now, I could use my comprehension skills to understand that was meant for the group, she's not just sending me a message asking me a question. But it was just really strange. Sometimes it's just, my bullet point here specifically says, sometimes cannot tell if a message is from the group or an individual. So, other than that, though, I think it's a good app. I think for the time being, I'll use GroupMe. If I, need to talk to friends or anything, large group messages, I'll stick with GroupMe. But for now in the class, I'm gonna try to figure out the Remind app. I think it can be a good app. I just don't know. I'm not familiar with it yet. But other than that, I think it's a good app, and I'm gonna look forward to learning more about it. So, thank you for watching my video. Check out my website. It is, my WordPress is TAMUC coaching.wordpress.com. So check it out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.